What'd you tell me?
122.
122. Take the one off. 22, which is good. So I appreciate them joining us too. This truly is an opportunity. Just fire questions at me and they'll lead me in a direction and we'll just talk. But does anybody have a question? Anything out there? Is nothing off the table.
Question. Did we get all the lots and all the doors funded? Was that?
We did not get them all funded. We have pulled some money from a different area. One of the most expensive things, or one of the lessons I learned when I got here, is leveled readers or classroom sets of books where you have, I mean, y'all, it's a paperback book this thin. Teachers like the same book, 6 of the same books. And then they put them in small groups and read them. My first year here, we did, you can come on through. It's your school. My first year here, I'll explain that in a minute. My first year here, we got a grant for $5,500. I was ecstatic. Oh, we're going to get some classroom books. This is it. We're going to get those little readers everybody wants. I told them, here, place the order. The box came in. I am not exaggerating. It was this big. And I'm looking on the box, 1 of 12. You know how they send boxes like that? That was it. That was $5,500 worth of books like that. So I say that we pulled money from our leveled readers because I'm sorry, I feel like safety is more important than a book. Some people might disagree with me, but I do. That's my philosophy here. And we did that. So if anybody wanted to still donate money for that, we would definitely take it. And what it would do, it would replace the money we took from the books and buy the rest. We did get over half of our locks paid for. And she's talking about the door emergency locks that you put on real quick. So, but yeah, that was it. And just so you know, we train with teachers. Monthly, every teacher sends an email. We have a faculty meeting every month. And the day of a faculty meeting, every staff member is supposed to test their lock. So if your student ever says, my teacher was putting a lock on the door today, that's what that's about. So we're testing it, but yeah.
I had a suggestion, like if in the future, if you end up having something that you need that's like that for each classroom, like let's say you want to up it in the future, maybe make it to where it's classroom oriented only, because I think you would have gone faster with that if a parent knew that that lock was going to go on that door and not on somebody else's door.
Correct.
I heard that a lot from a lot of parents. I donated a little bit as much as I could.
No,
but I heard from a lot of the parents that if they knew it was going specifically, and I know that sounds selfish,
no,
they said if they knew it was going to their classroom only, they would have put the money probably right out of their pocket. And I know that sounds horrible. I'm not that type of person, but I did hear that a lot.
And I did as well.
Yeah.
And I can tell you my response to that is you're right, but we change classrooms a lot.
Yeah.
So if we put it on this door, for some reason we change this classroom because maybe there's a student in that class now that can't get up the stairs. For a situation, we will switch classrooms and we wouldn't remember to take the lock off and change it with it. Was one, and then for the classrooms, let's just say all the rich people were in one class and all the poor people were in one class. We couldn't do that because it would be fair for that class. So a lot of the things we do around here with our staff as well, because we're a lottery-based school, literally, we drew out what doors got first, what they got put on first, like a lottery. We put all the classrooms in there, we just start pulling them out. And then after we got the classrooms, then we had offices. So if all ladies are working here, somebody's husband, in the event of emergency, something happened, wouldn't come to me and say, oh, so you like Miss Stewart better than Miss McGinnis because she had a lock and something happened to my wife. So a lot of the things we do around here are lottery. We just pull it from a hat. Take some pressure off too. Yeah.
I just was suggesting like if it,
yeah, no, that's
it might go a little faster, especially if it's like the tinier things. It might go a little bit.
Yeah.
I hate that people are like that, but I heard that a lot. Like a lot of people when we were talking about it, they were like, "Well, if I could just buy it for my son's classroom, I would." I'm like,
right.
If everybody would just buy one,
right.
the whole school would be done.
So it's like, I am happy to say that right now, for the most part, excuse me, all of our classrooms are done. There are a few offices. I don't like my office doesn't have one yet. I will not be in my office. I don't think that's my plan. In the event of that, I will be out fighting. So I think, I've never been put in that situation. So I don't want to ever find that. What else? Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I have a community service question. Last year, my 7th grade did not do any off-campus community service.
Okay.
This year so far, 8th grade has done 0 off-campus community service.
Okay.
Why?
That's for the teachers. I'm not sure about that.
I will find out that answer.
Okay.
I do not have an answer for you, but I will find out.
I'd love the sixth grade to go into shelter every week or so.
And now Miss Rushing, who is doing, for the most part, the shelter program, she is offering it to different grade levels. I'm not,
And I asked her, and she said, I don't know what eighth grade has been.
yeah, so you got two of those, I don't know. But that is, we will find out.
Was it possibly canceled because of the hurricanes? Could that be was it a timing thing? I'm just asking.
Eighth grade has had nothing scheduled.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't,
And seventh grade last year did nothing off campus.
yeah. And the way that comes up is every year, like every summer, like administration, we do community service ourselves, and we have an organization, every year it changes from one to the other to the other. And the grade levels choose what they're going to focus on in the community. So other than that, Randy, do you have a better answer than
No,
that?
I was just gonna say too, I'm not sure how much high school does it each in their classes, but when they start eighth grade, I know you have one that's or ninth grade, and then they'll be on their own doing community service too. So just keep that in mind.
My son moved this year, last year, was in 67th and the sixth grade. I was really hoping the seventh and eighth grade would be more comfortable, like just going with friends first and then after 9, 10, 11, 12, going on and going.
I can tell you there's going to be something for the family day, because I just got it on my desk this morning. Is Miss Ina check eighth grade? Yes, for the family day, they're going to push out for the kids to be collecting something from the shelter.
But that's not off campus.
No.
That's not going to Bright Blessings, that's not going to the animal shelter, that's not going to one of the nursing homes. It's not interacting with other people in the community, which is a huge part of community service.
I can find out the answer to that.
I know with fourth grade, because our son's in fourth grade, and there was some issue with, I think before they would go to like, animal rescue or something, but then there was an issue this year that they weren't gonna be able to go because of, some safety concerns or whatever. So we actually, as group parents, had to come up with new that our teacher actually took back to the fourth grade teachers, and they came up with a new community service project for the fourth grade where they started going to a nursing home to do reading and spending time with some of the residents and stuff. So I don't know if maybe it might have been an issue like that, or where whatever they did before, they just weren't able to continue it, and they just haven't come up with a new one just yet or something.
I will definitely look into it and find out and get you the answer. What else?
Safety. This came up the other day when I was down talking to a parent in the office. Why are their gates not accessible to come in from the outside? And I told a parent that it was for safety reasons. They're closed and latched because of that. But I don't think a lot of other parents realize why we have the gates in the front and on the side over here. So I don't know if you want to let them know, in your opinion, why.
Yeah, I would assume that parents don't even know we've put a gate up over here on the back side because we ask all parents to come in through the front door.
Probably sports car.
So I would assume they hadn't even seen it.
Yeah, it was just the parent that was trying to get in for Vader Junior through the gate over here instead of going through the office.
Yeah, but that's exactly why. I can tell you, and I'll share this, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind if I shared it, but our board chair, our board members all have an ID because they're board members, and they can swipe, and they can swipe and get in. But Miss Stewart, the door goddess, can time when they come in and can't come in. So at board meetings, their badges work, but they don't work at other times. Even our board chair came to me and said, Ann, my badge doesn't work, Monday at 12. And I said, okay. He said, I need to get my badge to work. And I said, we can't do that. Now, this is my boss. And I want you to know how important safety is to us. This is my boss. And for all I know, you might be a shooter. He went, you being serious? And I went, yeah, I'm being serious. I mean, nobody is a shooter until they're a shooter. So the least amount of anything we have. Now, I can tell you on our campus, we do have a gate up front, and the front of our school is 100% secure. When the locks and everything are working like they're supposed to, that backside that side is coming down the back of our school. we have about 80% of it on lockdown. And then on this far back corner, it's not locked yet. And the reason is there's no way to quite do it yet. But as we continue to develop the whole campus, you will see things go in place like that to make it more lockable. So we'll do that. Like we're putting a white fence. If you remember, if you were here in years past, there was a white fence over here. And literally it just ran out about 22, it ran out about 22 feet and stopped. So people at first were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Sorry. Yeah, I really have voices in my head. And I absolutely love this radio and the button. Yeah, I push this button and things happen. I go home and I go, where's my button? Where's my button? So, but y'all, safety is number one. I literally picture an emergency happening and what would I say to CNN? And in the event we had a casualty, I have no idea what I would say. Hey, we could have spent that book money and bought another door lock and saved 22 kids. God, no money. I can't talk about it. But I chose not to. I chose a book instead. Those kind of things. So that's what I picture in everything that we do. That's the situation. I could have told my board member he couldn't have a key to this place all the time. So everything, I look at it that way. What would I say to CNN if they're here? In the event of emergency, they're going to be here, helicopters and everything. So I want you to know that that's how safe we take it. I know it's not convenient. When you come to give your time and volunteer to this school, and we go, stop right there, somebody's going to walk you where you need to go. I want you to know that. I'll tell you, we do that. A few years ago, came in and said, hey, I want to volunteer. Walked into the then cafeteria, stayed for 5 minutes, went up to a classroom and cussed the teacher out. Had a parent volunteer for the first time, wanted to come into the cafeteria and help. Great, the first time here, taught them everything. As soon as their girlfriend's ex-boyfriend walked in, boom, straight to that kid. Let them have it. So that's why it's so important, because no kid should be exposed to that. No teacher should be exposed to that. If you want to cuss somebody out, come cuss me out. Okay? But nobody gets paid enough. Teachers shouldn't be, or students shouldn't be exposed to it. So safety is very, very, very important, and we will continue to grow with that. Used to, when you locked down, every kid was taught in this room, you would get under that window or along that way, just so you couldn't get in the sight of the window, right? Now, they don't crowd everybody in the corner. Because if you crowd everybody in the corner, one bullet could hit 2 or 3 people. Now, they tell you to fight. So you'll have situations to where teachers, if we have a practice drill or anything else, teachers have things, students have things, a guy in the classroom or somebody strong enough might have a desk waiting by the door, and all those different types of things. It's sad, it's pitiful. In America, I'm having to stand up here and talk about it, but that's where we are, what we do. And along that line, 1 in 4 people have a mental illness. 1 in 4 Americans or people have a mental illness. So we have an athletic trainer that helps us if somebody gets hurt playing sports. And that's through a partnership we have with Atrium Health, the local hospital. More people have a mental illness than get a sports injury. But we put an athletic trainer out here. And we don't do anything for that 1 person out of 4 that has that mental disability. So I went and got a group of our people here that are passionate about it. I went to the local hospital and said, hey, I want you give us an athletic trainer, I want a mental trainer. He went, what's a mental trainer? I said, I don't know, but I need one. And we had discussions about it and said, kids are struggling, anxiety's a bit worse than it's ever been before in society. What can we do to help people in that situation? He said, Ann, I sort of like the way you're thinking. I left thinking I got blown off. Like, yeah, he said all the right things. We're not going to get anything. Waited about 6 months, called him up again. So I got another idea. Let me come talk to you. Gave him the same exact pitch for the most part. Said, thank you. I appreciate it. I said, okay, I've got to come up with another way. How am I going to raise the money to get somebody that can help us with mental illness on our campus for our kids and our families? Got a call I think it was about 2 months ago. He called and said, tell Dr. Walters to come back up here with her team. Mike Luke's the head of the hospital. I want to talk to her. So I'm on cloud 9, go back up there, and he says, all right, I want to partner with you. I said, what does that mean? He said, I'm going to give you that mental coach you want. Now, we are working to get this. So if you know anybody with Atrium Health or anybody, please tell them thank you. I think when we hire a teacher, it's a long process to get them on staff. And you try to get somebody in health services on staff is a longer process. Exactly when this will take place, I do not know, but we do have resumes right now. We have our interview team ready and we'll begin interviewing soon. The way I see this role, if we brought them on campus in a month, not saying we will, but in a month, the first year what I'd like to see them do is develop relationships with kids. If you are on crutches on this campus or have a big knee brace on and walking around, literally, I'm sorry to tell you, it's like quick. Oh, dude, what happened to you? Wow. You know, I was going up and dunking the ball and all kinds of stories come out of it. But if you go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, anything along that line, it's sort of a social stigma that something's bad wrong or you're messed up in what the terms kids would use. 1 in 4 people have this. So what I would like to do is when we get this individual on staff, put them with Beth Russian, who runs our experiential learning program, who is one of the cool people and does all fun things when she teaches with them. And it's part of our non-bullying program and different things we do to make everybody understand that everybody in society is different. We got to accept others for what they are. And let her work with Beth and become one of the cool people on campus before she starts working with individuals one-on-one, he or she. And then have meetings like this with parents to educate parents. How many people knew 1 in 4 people had a mental disability? Joe watched last time. That's impressive. That's good to know. Excuse me.
I was really glad to hear that you're taking that approach because I feel like a lot of people take the safety approach and they're not really thinking of the deterrent of how to get there. Like, it doesn't just go one day to being great to being not great. There's obviously, you know, so I was ecstatic to hear you're taking that kind of a look on it. Because I think that's how everybody should approach this. I mean, every day you should try to be a little bit more involved in your kids, you know, trying to see, I mean, you don't want to be aggressive, but at the same point, don't be so, you know, not my kid never has a problem. Like, try to kind of see it, or even their friends when they come over, just kind of be a little bit more aware that not everything's a pretty picture all the time.
And it could be your kid too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most important because everybody says, oh, my kid got with the wrong crowd. I mean, your kid is the wrong crowd. I mean, that's what you want to say because they're doing it. I'm raising 2 boys. They have been the wrong crowd before. And they say, well, you ought to know my mom. So anyway, that's very important. And then we'll have interactions like this. What I would like to have interactions like this so parents can say, hey, this is sort of going on at home. What are you seeing at school? And we start the dialogue. But we need to make it, and we have to make it, and it's going to be parents getting behind it and supporting it too, that it's cool to go talk to this person. And if a student goes there, they could be leaving because, you know, they did something great. It doesn't have to be that. So it's a stigma that we got to break. And I think we got to do that in society. And I want to start right here. So thank you about that. But that's where the safety all leads to. Is a lot of it's awareness. So what else? Yes, ma'am.
This morning, bringing my partner to school, we saw someone being taken out of a school bus by ambulance. Don't know what happened, so I won't speculate, but something apparently happened. It sparked a conversation that there are not seatbelts on the school bus.
Correct.
Is there any, I don't know how any of that would work in the future, of maybe getting seatbelts?
Seatbelts, that conversation about seatbelts nationwide has just started taking place in the last 6 months. Buses are designed, somebody like me I am absolutely miserable in a school bus. I can't fit in the seat. I literally can't. And the seats are so high, and the top of the seats, the top 8 inches or something, I don't know specifically, are nothing but padding. So that is your airbag in the event you hit something. One of the reasons in the past, and the reason seatbelts aren't 100% required on buses yet, is because of fires on buses. And there's no way 52 people can ride a school bus, a typical size school bus, for me as a driver to unbuckle all them in the event something would happen and get them off through the emergency exits in time. So experts say it's better to have the seats the way they are and as close as they are for that preventative action versus locking them in there and having a fire incident. So that's it. We are watching it. I can tell you we've already gotten a price if we were to upfit our bus with seat belts, but the experts hadn't ruled which way yet. And until they do, we're gonna stick with what it has been. And then when they can show that this is the norm now, we're ready to, and we'll do one bus at a time. And that would be the bus that we send out.
I just want to comment on that. So I'm in the transportation industry, and it's funny because, I know DOT laws, and that's what I do for a living. So when my son got on the bus to go on a field trip, my husband and I sat outside the bus and watched the driver get down, even on our school buses at Lower Campus, and just watch that driver on the school buses do a DOT safety check on each one and then hop back in. And my husband went up onto the bus and said, I want to see your logs, I want to see everything, make sure that you can drive my son. Awesome, perfect. We were so happy because I'm neurotic. All in the past for the public school systems, I have interviewed and hired every single bus driver my kid had, so I could get there and get their medical card and get their stuff to make sure that they were legally legit and happy more. So having it here, I was so impressed. I don't know if I ever told you that story. But
You can say it again. Along those lines, I am bus certified, and one of the reasons is in the event we have to evacuate our campus. I want people to jump on and go as quick as we can. If we gotta go, let's go. So in the event of that, we only use activity buses. We don't use yellow buses. You will see a yellow bus parked out here before long. We bought that. Union County Public Schools quit using the bus. We bought it because it has a stop arm and the little thing out front and the flashers and things that our buses don't have. Activity buses don't have to have that. But they're changing some of the laws. An activity bus is a P endorsement versus a S endorsement for school bus. Now they recommend, they don't require, but recommend all P people to become S people as well. So it was cheaper for us. We bought a bus for $3,500 versus upfitting one of our activity buses, which was gonna be over 10 grand. So that's the difference in why a yellow bus will be parked on campus and the other. That's some of the ways being a charter school that we can save money and buy things differently than other people. That's why.
This just came up when someone asked me. This year I paid $150 for activities for my 8th grader, $130 for my senior, my junior. And at this point, neither of them have gone on any field trips. And I'm wondering, I've looked on the calendar and I don't see anything on the calendar, the one I switched you going. And I'm wondering if there's someone that could give me an idea of what that money, where they're going in the beginning of the year.
Yes, you should have that information. No. You should know what grade level, where like 8th grade's going to the.
Right now, no, I already know, I'm not talking about overnight trips.
Which is separate.
Which is totally separate. But I've noticed, as my kids have gotten older, normally the field trips would be at the beginning of this first, but I'm finding as they're getting older, the prices are going down, but I'm also saying they're not going as much. And I'm just wondering, at this point, with my 8th grader spending $150 and my junior at $133, when are they? Because it's good, I usually chaperone all of them as well. So it was good to put it on my calendar and just kind of know where that money's going, where they're going.
Not this Thursday, but next Thursday in the newsletter, if all goes as planned, I'll make sure that that's in the newsletter.
That'd be great.
That
might be a lot of information.
That would be my goal.
Okay.
To be able to know. But for the most part, we are working right now on field trip fees and everything for this year. St. Christopher's, you cannot book it.
Right.
What we want to do when we leave a field trip, while we're there, we want to book it for the following year with the
I was
dates.
thinking of the day trip, this is activity fees. I would just and I think a lot of parents too coming into the school, okay, you have to pay this activity fee, but it would be good to say, okay, well, I'm going to the Butterfly Museum, I'm going to Daniel Botanical Gardens, I'm going here. This is what that $150 is for.
So what I've heard you say is mainly high school, you don't know, but lower grade.
And in middle school. My son's in 8th grade, I paid $150 and he hasn't been on a field trip yet this year.
Now, 9th grade, they do Rachel's Challenge, and I know that there's an expense
So
there.
that's
It's a field trip, it's a field.
It's an on-campus field trip, but it is.
So that's right. So that would be perfect. Just till the parent knows, they know exactly where their money's going to.
Accountability from the school to the parents.
Just a thought, I mean, I'd
Yeah.
just like to know.
I will do my best to get that in there. And if there's not one, if I don't know 11th grade and we don't have a plan, we'll put still planning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, y'all deserve to know that for sure.
I'll ask the playground question, because I know there's elementary parents here. When do you anticipate the playground being done?
2026, 7, no, I'm not sure. Sir? Yeah. I can tell you, this playground has been harder than our $20 million expansion. Y'all, it truly, truly has. I mean, I would build this whole school over again before I do another playground. And I just, maybe I went into it with the wrong mindset. The date that we have been given by the construction company, basically over the holiday break, was March 1st. I can tell you right now, March 1st will not be completed. Ms. Westbrook with our foundation, the director of our foundation, had a meeting or ran into one of the head honchos with the construction company today and asked that very question. He said, well, if this rain stops, which is true. I mean, I've ruined every pair of shoes I have going out there trying to check on things. One of the things about the playground, in my opinion, I thought our playground was ridiculously priced. I'm like, oh my God, we can't spend this much on the playground. This is crazy. Remember, a box of books, $5,500. But with that being said, we are turfing our playground. Right now, if you were to look out here where we've been practicing, it rained today. Our people, our kids will not be out there the rest of this week, and probably not Monday unless we have a major wind and a lot of sun this weekend. The expense of the playground is the AstroTurf we're putting out. And with the AstroTurf, right now, we would be out on the playground playing. That's the difference in it. And if you study exercise and what it does to the brain, we want that. We want our kids there. Our teachers do the best they can with recess inside. It's fun for the kids, but it's not as productive as out there running and being creative.
Well, especially like today when they have North Carolina check-ins for 3rd, 4th, 5th, you know, they're already.
They need a break.
Yeah, they need to go outside.
They need a break, yes.
I kind of mentioned it to my son's teacher, and it didn't really go that far, but I kind of wanted to mention it as a whole, as maybe a volunteer opportunity for some parents to come in and do like kind of activities with the kids to give the teachers a little bit of a break. Like if they had an indoor in the gym, kind of doing like field kind of games, like where they do relay races and that kind of thing.
Absolutely love it.
I think it would be beneficial because then it would give them a break. I mean, I know that the teachers, I mentioned it because I work the lunchroom a lot with Miss Little, and I kind of fielded out some of the teachers in there just to try kind of ask them just to see if they would be wanting to do that. Because I mean, teachers don't want to be judged by parents either if they need a little bit of a downtime during recess. I mean, everybody's kind of getting a little bit of a breather on recess. So I think maybe if the teachers. Yeah, well, I know. Well, that's what I'm hoping we could do, though. I think it would be better because that's what the playground equipment would have done for the teachers, is give them a way for them to be doing something productively where they're not constantly doing something that's not, you know, good.
And I would say.
So.
Well, I don't know if you want to email me that, but
Okay.
Somebody emailed me that this past week about doing recess as a volunteer opportunity outside. And I talked to Mr. Brett, and he said he was going to bring it up at your meeting.
Because I
So
would
as soon as I hear
totally,
back.
I'd be part of a committee. I could even come up with like a binder with field kind of games in it and like easy stuff where you have like, where you can do a big groups, like you can do like 3 dice that say, you know, like walk like a
Egyptian.
Yeah, or you know, just do something, you know, get active, to where they're being active and they're not playing. Because like my son, I mean, he's a boy. So a lot of times when you're out in the field, they want to play tag. And then of course, one person doesn't want to play, or one person's tired of being it, or, you know, and it causes frustration. Whereas if they had some kind of distraction, I think that would be
As soon as
better.
I hear from him, I'll get back to
And in
you.
the meantime, talk to the room mom of your kid.
Yeah,
Just say how this is something I'd love to do.
yeah.
I can tell you sometimes, and I'm taking up for our teachers right now when I say this. Some teachers have parents that are very, very proactive and do a lot. Other teachers have, and it's year to year, have a room mom or a set of parents that are so energetic, they're gonna come in and they're gonna do this. They plan lessons around and they don't show up. So that makes them a little bit like, okay, if they show up, you know, make them do. So it's a give and take. When 3 years ago, we started room moms K through 12. Lower school teachers have got to have room parents. High school people are like, you're gonna come help me? Well, what would you do? What? Because they've never had it. So we've got to bridge that, and we've tried, Mandy's tried very hard to get it to where they come in and they can actually help. Some teachers are just like us, are like, no, this is me, this is my stuff. Others are like, come on in. And that's just personalities that we will continue to work on from us. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, I just think it would be, I mean, because I know some of the moms that are trying to be a little bit more active themselves, and so it would be kind of nice to be able to come and get a couple volunteer hours and being, you know, active with the kids and, you know, kind of getting the energy out.
Ms. McGinnis, 3 through 5 principal, has implemented where now they meet in the new gym, which is called the South Gym. In the South Gym, in the mornings before school, y'all, it's going fantastic. The kids are allowed to play basketball in certain groups. It's all controlled. They can walk the track up top. They can play checkers, chess. They can talk to each other. They can help each other on homework. So it's sort of a situation where they can do whatever they need. And teachers are realizing when they get to class, they're actually awake now.
Is
Which is
that
helpful.
just for 3 through 5?
Right now, yes.
And there's
I know,
no
I kind of wish that there was something for the
Yes.
little ones.
That's what yeah. We're getting there. We have to pilot this to make sure it goes well. Yeah, but we'll get to that point.
I had another off
Sure.
topic, but I've noticed, especially on the icy days or the rainy days, it's getting a little confusing with the carpool leaving in the morning versus the people that have parked their car and are leaving, and that stop sign being there. Like, the carpool has a stop sign, but nobody in the carpool stops at the stop sign. They just keep going because they feel that because they're in carpool, south. Yes, they feel that because they're in the carpool, they have the right of way to just go ahead and go. Well, the last couple of times that we've had rain or even ice, when we had a little bit of ice on the road, I've almost seen an accident. And I'm wondering if maybe there should be a stop sign for the people coming out the parking lot.
I understand.
As
On the
well.
other side of the retention
Yeah,
pond.
as well as the
Yeah.
people from carpool.
Yeah, I think we should take the sign where you turn right, where the stop sign is, put it where
Yeah.
you go straight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be better because what's happening is I've seen it happen almost a few times.
Thank you.
As when you're going, there's been cars that are coming out and because they have, right now, the way the sign is, they have the right of way. We have, as a carpool, you have the stop sign, but, you know, nobody stops.
Right.
And I'm afraid it's gonna be an accident, especially
And
on
the
the
other
rainy days.
one, we've asked for the stop sign, when you pull off the north carpool,
Mhm.
we now have a stop light, but the stop sign is still there. That came up in the first meeting we had here, and we've asked, I'm not gonna remove the stop sign. We've asked DOT to come remove that stop sign since there's a stop light.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll come do it, probably when the playground gets done. What else?
I guess going with her with the stop sign, you have the 2 lanes going out to, one lane has the turning lane and the
North or
other
south?
one's straight. South,
South.
sorry. It's straight, but both carpool lanes continue to turn. Like, the one just says to go straight into the.
Oh, not at the light,
lane.
before you
Yeah,
get to the
before
light, yes.
No, so, I mean, if you're gonna have, I mean, it probably should both have the turning.
So that's a good point too, Katie. I don't know if we can change that. Those are DOT, that's not us. Up there on here, we're fixing to, just so you know, I can't stand the cones up front, can't stand them. It looks like we're still in the construction. As soon as we can, which takes time, you know, we just made a change to South Carpool not too long ago. Where the cones stop here and start at the rear, we're just gonna put a line across the ground that says PM Carpool Start Line. And get rid of our cones, so that's it. Between the two parking lots, there's a drop gate that has been ordered. When that gets in, those cones will go away between the two parking lots, because there'll be times we need that open and times we don't. So that'll take place as well, but that's a good double turn lane that I think we should do as well. Yes, ma'am.
My son being in middle school, there was just track signups, and he was pretty butter-minded, and I try to keep him, telling me what's going on, but the information was not, it was on the walls rather than, I don't know, was it on the newsletter? No, it wasn't on the newsletter. So I'm wondering, with all the spring sports starting, is there someone or some way we can put that information on the calendar or make sure it's on the newsletter rather than
Luckily, this meeting was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he texted me and said he's gonna stay after, rather than,
And Brenna, or Commissioner Brenna sent out an email.
no.
He only sent out an email after the meeting.
Right, after.
No, and I didn't get one either, I didn't get it.
And then that gave a little bit of information, and then
Well,
we needed to go to the athletic.
Right, so that's the problem. Well, he ended up going at 3 o'clock, but he had his neighbor. But my problem is prior to whether, he goes home with his sister, she has swim, there's a lot of logistics involved. I don't.
And there were signs up, like on
Right,
the
there's
lunchroom
signs.
door and
Right.
things like that, but, you know,
But
13-year-old boys are not always.
Right.
Right,
Emails need to be sent to parents for all middle school and high school.
or in the
Right.
newsletter.
And I didn't get
Because
that.
their brains aren't fully formed.
Right.
Then we need to get them for them.
We're working on it, but let the parents know too by letting us know what's going on.
Right, so I just assumed that this is, spring sports are starting, just to kind of put it in the newsletter. I mean, if the coach, I'm sure the coaches are busy, but if they can kind of give it to the powers that be of the newsletter to say, at least a couple weeks in advance, just letting parents know rather than counting on the kid to call you, text you at 2:59 and say, Mom, I'm staying after school for a travel meeting.
Right, and I can tell you that our philosophy at Union Academy is when they're in kindergarten, we need to stick it on them and make sure it stays stuck till they get to the car. So take that philosophy, and then by the time they graduate from here, we should be telling them nothing, right? So there's a fine between that to this, we should have those online. Make sure you hear me say that, those should be online for you to know. But overall philosophy, that is our idea, because y'all, after that, going to college or going to the workplace, they should be moving out of your house. Okay?
The only thing I thought about that track thing was, there's a parent information session, but it's after the things already started. I would have thought that the parents would have been invited to come to
So-
that 3 o'clock meeting or before.
I think I can answer that. The parent information setting is for all sports. It's not track specific, it's all spring sports. And some of the teams you have to try out for. So those teams won't have been named until right before that meeting.
That part makes sense.
And so they do it right then, and that way everybody in spring sports gets the same information at the same time from the same voice.
And I didn't get the email, and one thing that was missing on the letter my son brought home is the $25 fee for CAC fees. That was not on that letter, either informing you that you need to pay your CAC fees or your $25 if your child's been already in the sport.
And, so what the email led you to was the website and the packet that you fill out for sports, and then it's in the packet.
And I didn't get the email.
So I wonder if he just didn't sign up, or I don't know how they got their name on the list. But hey, good job, thank you. But yeah, I had to send her back with several questions, like, well, how long is it? How long is the season? How, that kind of stuff. Do you need shoes? It was just, different questions. And he did say in an email, send me questions, but I felt like it was her responsibility.
Yeah, and as your kids get up, like, for example, baseball, we practice over spring break and have games over spring break. For the most part, once you get into what's considered conference play, that's regulated by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and we can't take a whole week off. So some parents are like, hey, we need spring break off, everybody else is off. If you play sports, it's not gonna be.
Right, and that's kind of like, before I pay that $240 or $50, I want to know how long is the season? What kind of a commitment is this? When are the meets?
We would
So that I
like
can
to
look at our
think,
schedule too and say, oh, I don't want to be like, oh, here's your money, and now, oh, we have to be conflicts.
right, and we would comfortable as we possibly can. Does that help at all? And that's why the dance is back on campus. But I think Amy Flower does a fantastic job because of this.
What about another Sunday?
We tried a mother, well, yeah, we did a mother-son camp out. And that family had a good time. Yeah.
Well, one year you did a baseball game, a Knights game.
Yes, yeah,
That was fun.
different activities like that, yeah.
One year they did a movie, remember?
Yes, an outside movie. Yeah, I really and truly, I'm always looking at ways we can bring money into our school. Money and different revenues. Literally, who remembers seeing, if not going to a drive-in?
Oh, there's two in the area.
Yeah. Well, one of the two, if it's the thing I'm thinking about, there's one at Baden Lake and there's one in Gastonia. The one in Gastonia has closed down. Just so you know, I called to try to buy all their equipment. Because I think how much cooler would it be now that we have the large parking lots, if at the end of the parking lot, we literally had a drive-in. Parents come Saturday, we don't always show duties on Friday and Saturday night. It's $10, $20 a car to get in. The kids could then play in the new fancy playground. Mom and Dad could play grease in the back seat. Whatever they wanted to. And then, yeah, sure, you're right. Yeah.
Volunteer hours.
You might have to play war movies here in Parkland. No, we are not doing the rice packing, but we're doing something similar. So every year when we try to decide who we're giving to, we're keeping it local this year. You're going to be reading, it's gonna, I don't know the official name of Cardinal Care, I don't know, it's basically hygiene packages. So for the most part, we're asking first graders should all bring in a toothbrush. Second graders should all bring in a toothbrush. Somebody, another grade level to bring deodorant, anything, and toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. We are giving it to Title I elementary schools in the area. Straight there for the people. And so once that happens, what we then do is start talking about hygiene with our kids back in the class. So we're trying to make it relate to what happens to your body and why you need deodorant at this age and why. Because if you talk to anybody, to the homeless shelter, anybody that's maybe on an EBT card, there's certain things that aren't covered. So when you're in a financial strap, you can't get some of those things that you need. So we want to also give it to individuals at the local schools that we won't know who it, I won't know who it goes to because it's a principal and superintendent relationship that we'll have, but our kids won't know who they're giving to except other kids. But the little bags that they'll get will have personal messages, just like we pack rice, we'll do that, but our lessons will be different. With the government shutdown, please be nice, donate rice. A little campaign going on right now. That's 100% because of our homeless shelter and our crisis assistance ministry. With the government shutdown, the people that are giving out the food stamps aren't working, so there's nobody, you're not getting food stamps. So our shelter realizes this happened. I think it's today or tomorrow Friday, is the second round of them not getting a check. So now it's gonna really start hurting. So the one thing that you can live off of and fills you up is rice. So we're asking every kid to bring in a bag of rice so we can take it to the shelter. And then I believe it's 4th grade. You asked like 8th grade what they do community service. 4th grade is the one that jumped on it and said, can we be a certain like 16 or 24 kids, I think, that will take it and donate. But when we give it, we're giving it to the homeless shelter and the crisis assistance ministry. And so just so you know a little bit about what we try to do, is when the kids go and deliver it, this group will go here and the same group will go here and deliver it. And we're going to then talk to them about, tell me how you felt when you walked in this one. Where you agreed with, oh my God, thank you so much, I appreciate you coming. Or you agreed with, yeah, put it in the back. And which way did that make you feel? Which one makes you want to come back and help again? Chick-fil-A, Burger King. One of them make you feel different than the other one? You know what I mean? So it's that kind of philosophy. Then we try to talk to our kids, what do you want to be known for? The grouchy kid that's always on, or the kid that everybody wants to be around? You know, and then what can you do to help promote our school, promote something you're passionate about? What kind of attitude do you need to have? All right, anything else? Y'all, thank you for coming, y'all. I didn't say this at the beginning. This isn't my school, and it's also not your school. This is, and I teach this to our kids all the time. This is your kid's school. My school is Monroe High School. That's where I went. This is your kid's school. Make sure they know that. If they won't come tell us what they want, ate lunch with high school students yesterday, middle school students today, asking them what they want. Met last year, I had none yet, it's coming with the little kids. High school kids several years ago asked for something like this. Middle school kids want certain things. Lower school kids want doorknobs made out of gumdrops. But that gives me an idea. So remember that. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you online people.